Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel Legends series, Legion, from the Age of Apocalypse Build-A-Figure series, where you build Colossus. Let's get into it! Let's start our exploration of multiple personality disorder with a look at the packaging. And, pretty standard old school Marvel packaging now. Build-A-Figure Colossus. Assortment number 4. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. And the Age of Apocalypse Marvel Legends series. Then we have a nice big window showcasing the figure, his accessories, and the Build-A-Figure piece. X-Men Marvel's Legion Hasbro print. On the bottom, some stuff got covered up by an Amazon barcode. But it's small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. And there we have nice artwork of Legion and Apocalypse. And same artwork on this side. And same artwork on this side, only minus Apocalypse. Marvel Legends series, Marvel's Legion. The son of Charles Xavier, Legion gets his incredible mind from his legendary father, but must balance unimaginable mutant powers with his mental illness. And there it is in some other languages. Build-A-Figure Colossus, and of course it's the AOA Apocalypse. And you can see the completed Build-A-Figure here with numbers corresponding to which part comes with which figure. Each sold separately, subject to availability. Colors may vary. Attention! Don't stick things in your French pie hole that do not belong there. Warning! Attention! Don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there, and don't give it to the babies. Marvel print, Hasbro print, small fine, legalese, made in China print, and that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first up, let's take a look at the Build-A-Figure piece, and it's the AOA Colossus. And I have to say, it's got some nice molded details, possibly some reuse from that 80th Juggernaut and Colossus 2-pack here at least. I don't know. Maybe not. That one was pinned, I'm pretty sure. So, but they may have retooled it to be pinless and then added some stuff to it, retooled it to take this, maybe. Or maybe this is just an overlay. I don't know. Regardless, it's not a Build-A-Figure that I decided to finish. It does have, your basic Marvel Legends leg articulation, ankle, tilt, knee bend. So, there's that. And again, like I said, don't look forward to that one being completed because I'm not completing that one. Next up, we have an extra set of hands, which are fists. Both on in and out hinges. Nice molded details. An accessory we see quite often in Marvel Legends. And there's 2 of them. Exactly the same, except one's left and one's right. So, but they do look pretty good. I can see why they continue to use those, because they actually, it's good mold. Now let's take a look at Legion himself. And I'm trying a new light out, so please forgive me for all the camera bumping I'm doing. So, pretty much, I mean, you look at this guy and you know it's Legion. The tall hair. And, you know, the loony bin suit. And I'll have to say, I like that sculpt for his face. I mean, it's really wacky and mischievous at the same time. And I wanted to say they did a nice job with the paint apps there. I do believe this figure was before the inkjet technology, so, or at least before Hasbro was using it. So there is that. So very nice looking. And I have to say, overall, the sculpt and the paint for the suit. Now, maybe, you know, these might be reused from somewhere, at least the upper parts of the leg, I'm sure. And it's probably molded in this blue plastic all throughout. But if you'll notice, they have an overspray, or I don't think it's a dry brush. And I don't think it's a wash. But you can see there's patches of it where it is darker. Unfortunately, it doesn't match on the back side. They just put that deco app on the front. But it does give the texture a little bit of depth. And, you know, I do like that they did that. So, that's cool. And, I mean, he's got jagged sleeve holes here where he ripped the sleeves off of his loony suit. And then, of course, they're a little bit too short for him. And he's got bare feet. Something we don't see a whole lot in Marvel Legends. There's, you know, maybe a handful of figures who had bare feet that I can think of. One of the symbiote Spider-Mans. One of the... Maybe a few of the symbiotes themselves. Megan from Excalibur. Just right off the top of my head, that's what I can think of. So, but yeah, I really like the sculpt, and I know this is just plain kind of scrub type clothes, but I think it looks pretty good for this guy. Now let's take a look at his articulation real quick. At the head, it's on a dumbbell. And even though it's on a dumbbell, he can look up that high. So, really, really good range there. And I haven't modified this at all. He can look down that far. So, he could use a little bit more down. But, you know. He does have some chicken neck. He's got plenty of waggle in there. He can do the full Exorcist. At the shoulder, 360 degrees worth of rotation. And he can raise his arm up at the shoulder approximately 90 degrees. There's also a cut here at the upper bicep. 360 degrees of rotation there. Double hinged pinned elbow. And gives you that much pin. You can see that pin's like kind of way in there. But 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on in and out hinge. And in and out hinge on the other hand as well. And which this one's kind of just like an open hand. This one's kind of like a grappling type hand, I guess. They're coming to get you, Barbara. I don't know, maybe I'm going to quit with that joke. So he's got standard Marvel Legends ab hinge in, well, his abdomen. And it allows him to lean back that far and crunch forward that far. Straight cut at the waist gives him a 360 degree rotation there. No hula. At the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. He can kick forward that far, which is right about 90 degrees. Backwards, not so much. Maybe a half of one of his own feet. Cut at the upper thigh, 360 degrees of rotation there. Double hinged pinned knee. It gives you that much bend, so not bad. And then where the pants leg ends and the regular leg begins, there is a boot cut, even though he's not wearing boots. So 360 degrees worth of rotation there. And then at the ankle, tilts down that far, which, wow. And then up that far, not quite as wow, but still not bad. And then he does have a pin for rocker. So there you have it, my friends. That's a look at the figure. And stand up, you loony. That's a look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends series, Age of Apocalypse Colossus Build-A-Figure Waves Legion, with the Marvel Legends series, Marvel Comics 80th Anniversary, Charles Xavier in hover chair, and the Marvel Legends series, Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure Waves, Moira McTaggart. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends series, Age of Apocalypse Colossus Build-A-Figure Waves Legion, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends series, Age of Apocalypse Colossus Build-A-Figure Waves Legion, I have to say, I think it was great that they included this character in that wave, seeing as how, or in an AOA wave period, seeing as how he's the one who accidentally kicked the whole thing off anyway. So I think it's fitting that he's in an AOA wave, and you know, it works for me. Now, is this maybe the definitive version of the character? Maybe not the definitive version, because there's so many personalities to Legion. I don't know that they could ever even make action figures for each of them, but there are a few main ones that I vaguely remember. I can't remember their names or anything like that, but archetype kind of personalities that he had, and maybe a few of those could be made as well. But you know, who knows what the future holds with Marvel Legends. They do some really deep digging sometimes. And not that they really had to do too much deep digging with this guy, because for Age of Apocalypse, he ends up, you know, starting the whole thing off. So he's a very important character to that storyline. While they were doing figures related to that, it makes sense that they did Legion. And I like the overall look of this. I just wish those dark spots that are on the front of his clothes, I don't know exactly, are they scrubs or I don't know, but you know, those dark patches that they put on his clothes, I wish they'd have put them on the back too, just to finish it off, and yeah, to give it a finished look, in my opinion, because I like the front. It really looks great. And you know, overall, I think this guy looks great. Would have looked better with the darker paint on the back as well as the front. The sculpt is pretty good. I like the head sculpt. I like the look on his face. It's it's bemused and confused and mischievous, and it feels like there's a lot going on in that expression on his face. So there is that. Well, that does it for the review I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.